I'm here at this beautiful winery called Casanel in Leesburg, Virginia, and I'm joined by Katie Henley, who is the winemaker here. And Katie, you do some amazing things with Norton, and I can't wait to have you tell us a little bit about your grapes.
Thank you very much, Tassie. It's an honor to be on the show. We've been longtime watchers of the show, so it's always fun to have a chance to speak about what Virginia can do, especially in a regional setting, and kind of explain where we come from. So very happy to talk to you about all things Norton, all things Virginia.
I love it. Well, whatever possessed you to plant so much Norton?
I guess if you want to blame somebody, I would definitely blame my father and, of course, Jenny McLeod from Chrysalis. If you know Jenny, if you know Chrysalis, she is the Norton guru. You know, she's the one who really brought Norton back and kind of gave it a place in Virginia history, especially in a wine sense. So very happy to have her on our team, and, you know, definitely being supportive about growing Norton and showcasing it right up there with the vinifera's, you know, like Cabernet Sauvignon and Petit Verdot. It does deserve a shot, you know, a chance.
It's amazing, and you not only do it one way, so we've got the still wine here, the N squared, but you also really take advantage of the Norton grape and create some interesting profiles in other ways.
It's very versatile. If you've ever grown Norton, it's very, let's just say, a little bit easier to grow than, you know, your favorite vinifera's like Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon, etc. But for Norton, if you know the history of Norton, it is a native species. It's a cultivar of Estivalis, Vitis Estivalis. So it's kind of built for this weather. It's built for humidity and freak rainstorms and overcast weather, as we usually have in Virginia. But it's kind of a survivor. It's always, you know, the first one to kind of ripen and come in right where you need it to be, whereas sometimes the vinifera lags a little bit behind, and, you know, it's a little bit harder to get better numbers from the vinifera. But yes, we do have kind of a different approach in our portfolio. We make two different sparklings, one that's a little sweeter, one that's a little drier. The N squared, which is our still red wine Norton, we actually do a barrel fermentation, which is kind of fun on that. And then we also make the port style Norton, which is one of our specialties.
The Full Nelson. I love that. I love the way that you've named these wines.
Yeah, so I was kind of mentioning that to you before we started rolling, and one of the things that I grew up with doing in the wine industry was working behind the bar. I wasn't always making the wine. I kind of started as the dishwasher. I was the crystal technician, for lack of a better word. So being a little bit younger, you know, starting around 17, 18, I was not as well versed as some of these very storied tasting rooms, you know, Barbersville, things like that. So when I started talking about wine, it was very much kind of down to earth and, you know, slide the tasting sheet. What do you think about it, you know? And one of the things I learned about Norton is that it's very love-hate. Either you love it or you hate it, and people are very vocal about that. Yes. So in a marketing sense, I kind of figured if we're gonna be doing Nortons, let's give them a unique name, something special. Casanel is actually named Casey and Nelson after my parents, so a little combination. So we figured, let's give it a unique name and then see if people can figure out if it is Norton or not, and then let them be the judge, you know, unbiased.
I love it. I love that. And then you also create different variety of varietals. So with the sparkling and then with the port, and it's just fascinating to me to do a tasting just of the Norton and see the variation that you have there.
It's, again, I think it kind of comes with the territory, you know, with everything going on in the world today. You're always trying to figure out, like, what can we do next? What can we do sustainably? What can we do to better the environment? And one of the things about Norton is you don't really have to spray it. You know, it's kind of set it and forget it. It's also pretty zombie proof, again, with the rain. You know, in 2015, we had Hurricane Joaquin, dumped buckets of rain on us for 2 days. The only thing we could really salvage was the Norton at that point. You know, it came in at like 24 bricks, regardless of the rain. So it's kind of that little silver bullet you need in your portfolio. But what happens is a lot of people just treat it like a hybrid. They just kind of, you know, whatever. It's not the star of the show. It's not Cab Sauv. It's not Petit Verdot. Then it becomes lost. Yes. So what we do at Casanel is every wine is individually made, but it's also made within the grouping. So we have to figure out like what kind of Norton is dad gonna drink? What kind of Norton is mom gonna drink? What kind of Norton am I gonna drink? And then you start to look at your demographics, and some people really like sweet wine, some people really like dry wine. And it's just, again, that versatility of being able to kind of take this grape, make it 4 different ways, but make it in a way that it appeals to everybody, which is the accessibility of wine.
Well, that is incredible. And what you do with it, from vine to
you.
glass, is
I have a
incredible.
lot of help, Tessie. I have a lot of help.
Well,
But-
to you, Katie, it's
Thank you very
amazing.
much. Cheers, cheers.